Welcome, everyone. My name is Connie Rose, and I am the Platinum Quantum Living Advocate with Solex. And it is my joy and pleasure to introduce you to my business partner, Wendy Brennan, who is also a Platinum QLA, which is a Quantum Living Advocate with Solex. She has spent hours and hours and hours creating this incredible program for us. And without further ado, I'm going to let her take over. And thank you so much, Wendy, for everything that you do for us.
Thank you, Connie. I love it. I'm so happy to be here. And hello, everyone. Welcome to our Lift Your Vibration to Shift Your Experience presentation for August 7, 2025. My name is Wendy Brennan. I'm a frequency wellness provider delivering frequency to human and animal bodies. And for the past 2 years, I've used a proprietary software program that produces sound and subtle scalar energy in order to help my clients achieve a more harmonious state of being physically, mentally, and emotionally. This scanner software made a tremendous impact in the pain levels my husband and I were experiencing in very different ways for each of us. And for that reason, in June of 2023, we decided to get a subscription of our own. We were very happy to test it out on others, and the results were great. I had a few friends who wanted the program, and so the next conclusion I came to was, I think I have a business. At that point, I committed to educating as many people as possible about frequency wellness. And I applaud you for taking the time to learn of the many things that you could be doing. You chose to be here, and for that, I'm very grateful. This evening, we will explore the fascinating history and science behind frequency wellness because we believe that will 100% bolster the really cool things that we're going to be sharing with you tonight. We'll cover how frequency wellness corrects energetic imbalances and fully explain what a biofield is and the benefits you can achieve with biofield tuning. It can be done easily and effectively by a practitioner or by acquiring the same software that we use so you can have 24 access to the amazing technology to help not just yourself, but you can also help your friends and family. So tonight is our foundational presentation. Connie Rose follows this discussion with her very own awesome presentation that dives into the 8 software modules and the company that created this incredibly lush and versatile software program. Her Zoom call will take place on August 14th. So after this evening, if you're like, I want to dig in, I want to know more, you can call the person that invited you or go ahead and come on to our Zoom call next week. At the end of tonight's presentation, we'll open up the call to everyone for question and answer time, and for privacy, we'll stop recording at that point. So you know yourself best as a biochemical and biomechanical being. You spend time thinking about how to take care of your body in the sense of how to feed it good quality food and high vibrational nutritional supplements, and also keeping your body fit by staying active. Now let me tell you about another aspect of you that has its own intelligence and communicates with your chemical and mechanical nature. It's your bioelectrical body. Oops. Okay, not to be confused with the electricity that runs your nervous system. Unlike machines, all living organisms have an immense network of internal and external connections across which information flows to modulate life functions. The keyword there is information. The continuous exchange of information in living systems to maintain their integrity is mind-boggling, and that is why we call the body a miracle. The latest research from some of the most respected institutions is now confirming what ancient civilizations have long since known, that we all have a personal energy field. It was once called the aura, and in the past it was dismissed because if you began talking about your aura, people would just brush you off as hippy-dippy. And amongst frequency wellness practitioners and academia, the updated term for aura is now collectively agreed upon as biofield, and it's presented in those terms in published research papers. The concept of biofield regulation offers a shift from a mechanical chemistry-based view of biology to an information-based view, and modern-day scientists are discovering some pretty fascinating things about how your biofield communicates information to all your body systems. Your biofield is a field of energy that surrounds and permeates your body and is produced by your heart. Sorry about that. This creates a toroidal field that can be measured and is a very important governor of your health. If your biofield is weak and compromised, your health will be weak and compromised because it's essentially a communication system. Eileen McCusick, author of The Human Biofield, has been working with frequency for 30 years. She discovered that your biofield has a specific physiology and anatomy. Scientific studies done at the highest levels are bearing this out. She tells us our biofield holds our thoughts and feelings and has access to historical information that was encoded over a lifetime of experiences. It is your subconscious, therefore, it is your sense of self. We know that our subconscious mind drives our actions. What if we have been working hard to employ our willpower when all we needed to do is figure out how to clean up our biofield so that our subconscious mind delivers that to us, which we say we want in the areas of physical, mental, and emotional health? This is truly amazing information. It took me a fair amount of time to make all these discoveries. This presentation is my 7th iteration because I keep learning more things I want to share. And along the way, I've discovered, in addition to my joy of helping people with their health challenges, I also love being an educator. I'm jazzed by this idea that we're on the forefront of something as impactful as I've seen our technology be, that I get to share this technology with my clients. And perhaps in the future, I'll get to lock arms with like-minded people who also want to use this technology with their own families. There are certain times in history when there is a big paradigm shift, and we are witnessing that now. The old paradigm, starting in the late 1800s, focused slowly on the chemical body and using pharmaceuticals. In the past 3 decades, a new paradigm has been emerging, that we are more fundamentally energetic and informational beings with sophisticated high-speed communication channels in our living connective tissue matrix, capable of rapidly affecting tissues, cellular processes, and even nuclear DNA expression. These processes are better described by using the language and principles of quantum physics. I'm hoping this presentation opens up a whole new world of thought for you about how our universe actually behaves and how all humans and animals can interact with universal laws to our best advantage. Many great things happen in mainstream medicine, of course, but how we have not been served well is Western medicine does not attend to the whole person because, by design, they deal in the individual parts. There is a specialty for everything, and by treating in isolation, many problems are inadvertently created in our bodies over time. It's an exciting time to be able to play a part in complementary medicine and integrative wellness solutions. I'm finding more than ever people are taking a proactive approach to self-care by engaging in self-education and entering into more conscious living through holistic health modalities. Biofield imbalances that are not addressed could lead to physical pain or some other symptom over time. Point of fact, a majority of chronic diseases actually begin with an emotional event, and then those emotions get stored in your biofield as stuck energy. Energy practitioners know how to move stuck energy, tune up your biofield, clear the chaos, and allow your body to get into a coherent state. As a result, your overall vibration rises and your cells communicate better. The software technology I use with my clients employs sound frequency, radionics, and scalar energy. Neither I nor the technology is doing the healing. Your body is the healer, designed that way by our creator. If you're thinking, well, my body's not working so well right now, I understand. We have had many years for our electromagnetic bodies to encounter multiple disruptions, which, if not attended to, manifest unwelcome states of being. We just need to silence the chaos that brought you to the non-coherent state. A very efficient way of doing that is by applying gentle sound and scalar frequencies. American inventor Nikola Tesla, a pioneer of electrical technology, said, if you could eliminate certain outside frequencies that interfered in our bodies, we would have a greater resistance toward disease. Frequencies have either a healing or weakening effect on our physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. Our environment has been subjected to ever-growing amounts of electromagnetic pollution due to industrialization and technological development, and this interferes with our body's ability to stay in sync with Earth's natural vibrations. This interference can negatively affect the body's immune system, energy levels, and sleep quality. It could be one of the reasons why so many people often feel stressed and anxious. There are many types of pollutants that can lower healthy body frequency. Processed food is a dead food and has a very low vibrational frequency since the enzymes have been destroyed in the process of making it. Consider the pollutants we breathe, the toxicity in our soil, cleaning products, makeup and hygiene products, not to mention the stress produced from toxic relationships and stressful careers. It can be overwhelming, and it has been for many. But the good news is that the situations we are subjected to that allow for the progression of mounting stress in the body, stress then leads to inflammation and then to disease. This can be changed, transmuted through the application of electromagnetic waves carrying very specific signature frequencies and used in a specific way. Frequency wellness is a form of energy medicine using specific frequencies delivered from an energy carrier that drives its strength and effectiveness from an invisible energy network called the quantum field and transmits healing signals without necessarily requiring physical contact. Frequency wellness is a broad term and can encompass sound therapy, light therapy, color therapy, and even directed scalar energy waves, either in person or remotely. The use of frequency for supporting wellness is the cutting edge of complementary health modalities and refers to a type of wellness service developed in the early 1900s based on ideas of resonance and vibration. In physics, there are four fundamental forces of nature. We'll focus on electromagnetic force since it's the dominant force in the interaction of atoms and molecules, and that which our bodies and our universe are comprised of. We are electromagnetic beings living in an electromagnetic environment, and we emit frequency outward to our environment and also receive it from our environment. How far out your field of energy goes depends on how high your overall vibration is. We do affect one another with our biofield, which I'm sure makes a lot of sense to you if you've ever met someone and immediately felt drawn to them. I'm sure you felt the opposite too. All right, let's get metaphysical. Our universe is comprised of the quantum field. This is a place full of possibilities that acts in extraordinary ways that are hard to explain, for it is an invisible yet intelligent energy field. And get this, in the quantum field, thoughts and emotions impact reality. This has been proven in the double slit experiment, which describes the behavior of matter and energy at the atomic and subatomic levels. The study revealed that particles can exhibit both wave-like and particle-like duality in light and matter. It all depends on the observer. Yeah, real Star Trek stuff happens in the quantum field. We were taught classical Newtonian physics in school, not quantum physics. So for many, this is new information. Let's talk about scalar energy waves real quick. These waves are superluminal, which means they move faster than the speed of light. They're unbounded by the limitations of 3D space, and they move through the empty space between all matter. You can think of it as nature's Wi-Fi. It's a subtle, nonlinear energy that influences matter without needing direct force. It's different than sound waves because sound waves need vibratory force to produce sound. Since the human body is made up of atoms and molecules, just like the universe, it makes sense that our bodies would function according to the laws of nature that govern the universe, right? Every cell in the body can be seen as a tiny battery with its own voltage. Dr. Jerry Tennant, in his book Healing is Voltage, states our DNA has its own battery using scalar energy. DNA and scalar energy in the same sentence? Maybe we should be paying close attention. I love Tesla, and I will be quoting him a lot. His most famous quote is, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. There's another term I want to acquaint you with. In reference to the human body, resonance is the amplification of cellular vibration through related cells, tissues, organs, and systems. Through the use of resonance theory, a sound practitioner can influence cellular vibration and therefore cellular communication to stimulate well-being and restore balance. This occurs by playing sounds that oscillate at a particular frequency in an effort to synchronize with the frequency of the body. Is anyone here a musician by chance? When you hear the words oscillate and synchronize, you may think of a metronome. You can put multiple net metronomes side by side, moving at different speeds, and in a short time, they will sync up to one another perfectly. So if the frequencies in your biofield become chaotic and you want to get them synchronized with frequencies of perfect design, would you know how to do that? It won't surprise you that the easiest way I have found is to listen to the tones and the frequencies coming from our software. They allow for the chaotic frequencies to sync up with the master blueprint frequencies offered, 170,000 to be exact, and they are specifically curated for you. You are now in short order getting proper cell to cell communication. It's brilliant. All right, Dr. W. Ross 80, a distinguished neurology professor who had a 50-year career in electromagnetic research, once said, cells maintain their organized society by whispering together in a faint and private language. The whispers travel as chemical, electromagnetic, electronic, photonic, thermal, and sound messages. And speaking of sound, all frequency makes sound, but humans cannot hear all sounds. Best example is a dog whistle. It has a pitch so high that we don't hear it, but our dogs can. Humans and animals can sometimes feel sounds that they cannot hear. This is particularly true for very low frequency sounds that are below the hearing threshold, but can be felt as vibrations. The human body can perceive these low frequency vibrations called infrasounds through vibrotactile perception, where the entire body acts as a receptor for sound waves, not just the ears. This is one of the reasons why, even though you may not be able to audibly pick up a frequency from our software, it's still impactful. If infrasound is low frequency, what do you think high frequency is called? That would be ultrasound. Frequency is an important parameter used in science and engineering to specify the rate of vibratory phenomena. Can you think of other vibratory phenomena that is measured by frequency? I'll give you just a second. Okay, well, how about light? The technical term for light is electromagnetic radiation. Light also communicates with our cells, and the natural light of the sun is the very best form of electromagnetic radiation you can give your body. It's like healthy food for your biofield. Did you know different colors have different frequencies also? Color is simply light waves, so the frequency of light is what determines its color. It's pretty cool. Oh, I guess I should have been showing you that color slide. Here is the anatomical reason sound works so well on our body. You have a nerve in your head called the vagus nerve. It's a two-way information highway to your brain, instructing the biochemistry of your body in every moment. It has two main functions. First, to check and make sure all your organs are functioning properly, and then to restore and repair. Second, to kickstart the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your anti-stress, rest, and digest response. It controls involuntary activities such as increasing the rate of gastric emptying and stimulating acid production when needed. Aren't you glad you don't have to think about all the millions of things that are going on in your body all at once? It'd be so hard to focus on anything else, for sure. I've come to believe that it's vital that we understand this powerhouse nerve and appreciate all it does for us. It is the longest cranial nerve of the 12 you have and starts from your brain and travels down each side of your head like a net, each side of your neck like a net, and it encompasses all of your major organs: brainstem, skull, neck, chest, heart, lungs, abdomen, and intestines. See why it's a powerhouse? Damage to the vagus nerve can cause pain in the neck as well as other symptoms such as voice issues, throat problems, increased heart rate, brain fog, gut problems, vertigo, and tinnitus. Damage is generally caused by inflammation from viruses and toxic heavy metals. That is where we can help. We can apply heavy metal and virus detox frequencies to lessen inflammation in the vagus nerve. When I was very new, I treated a client over the phone who had passed out from vagal nerve issues, but the paramedics thought he had a heart attack and they gave him CPR on the street. His head and neck were really bruised. They were super sore from not being on the soft surface, and his chest was very bruised. And I love this story. It really demonstrates synchronicity, like just the timing of how things come together. So I called my friend to ask her a question about something, only to find out that her husband was in the hospital and in a lot of pain. And she told him about my offer to help after I caught her up to what I'd been doing. But he didn't really believe I could help him, so he just kind of blew it off. When he got home, the pain was still quite intense. So he told her, yeah, why not give it a try? Now, they live far from me, so I had him listen over the phone. And when I got done, I texted my friend to go check on her husband. She called me back in 15 minutes and said, he is really impressed. How do we get this? I said, can you get to your computer now? And in 10 minutes, we had her enrolled and she's still using her software daily. So that's just one of the many fabulous stories I could tell. We archive our scanner stories at our public Telegram testimonies page at t.me/AOScan testimonies. If you have difficulty finding it, just ask the person who invited you to this presentation and they'll send you a direct link so that you can join. If you already have Telegram, you'll go just join the channel. And if you don't, you'll need to download that app. Connie and I are very proud of the many testimonies you'll see there because they come from people that we assisted in their learning journey to the point that they had the knowledge and confidence to go help others. And now they're teaching the people they helped. And it's just truly beautiful to see it spread. It's really a lot of fun and not difficult to learn the basics to get started. A lot of my favorite testimonies came from when I was new and I really didn't know very much. And I didn't know much at all. I just believed in frequencies because I saw what they did for me. I certainly didn't have a procedural checklist like we offer up now. So let's talk about our first scientist. Take note, this is the mid 1800s. So James Clerk Maxwell's quantitative connection between light and electromagnetism is considered one of the great accomplishments of 19th century mathematical physics. His discoveries laid the foundation for such fields as special relativity and quantum mechanics and established electromagnetism as the second universal force. Maxwell's work was a strong influence for modern-day quantum scientists such as Max Planck, Albert Einstein, and Nikola Tesla. In the 1920s, electromagnetism became a central player in quantum chemistry and has been more recently described as, quote, controlling all chemical reactions, including life itself, end quote. Tesla said, our entire biological system, the brain, and the earth itself work on the same frequencies. Everything vibrates. On a quantum level, everything is vibrating at various frequencies. These vibrations influence our life in subtle yet profound ways. Planet Earth has what's known as a natural frequency called the Schumann resonance, also referred to as the heartbeat of the Earth. It's around 7.83 hertz. The Schumann resonances are quasi-standing electromagnetic waves that exist in the space between the surface of the Earth and the ionosphere. The Schumann resonance surrounds and protects all living things on the planet. As Tesla said, the Earth's natural frequency matches our brain's relaxed state. Scientific studies show that the human brain reaches its ultimate potential for health and wellness when it resonates with the Earth's frequency, which is slightly elevated from the theta brainwave state. Imagine if we were all able to maintain this relaxed state of mind all the time. Staying in sync with the Earth's natural frequency can positively affect physical and mental health, daily performance, and promote overall well-being. And this is why grounding, or anchoring yourself to the earth with bare feet, is recommended. Let's talk about the history of sound therapy. It's important to note the use of frequency healing dates back to the time of ancient Greece and Egypt. Archaeologists have found a lot of ancient sound instruments in the many healing temples in Egypt and Greece. Here we have the Egyptian ankh on the left and the sistrum on the right, both sound instruments. We also know now that pyramids were not created to be crypts for the pharaohs. Nope, they were ancient day supercomputers with sound technology so advanced it would blow your mind. There are stories of people that have gone down deep into the chambers with illnesses, pain, come out and never had that pain again. Pyramids have been found all around the world, not just Egypt, and they line up with our planetary system. One reason I think the Egyptians worship cats is because the Egyptians were frequency masters and they understood the cat's healing power. A research specialist in the field of bioacoustics at the Fauna Communications Research Institute in North Carolina measured and quantified the cat's purr. The average domestic cat purrs at a frequency of 25 to 150 hertz. Humans have a range of about 20 to 20,000 hertz, so most of us can hear the purr. We can also feel the vibrations, but the cat's purr is unique in that it produces a multi-frequency. More current research has shown that frequencies between 20 and 50 hertz increase bone density and also relax stubbornly tense muscles. And a study conducted at the University of South Florida in 2011 found that exposure to 111 hertz, that would still be in the purring range, has the potential to promote cellular regeneration and even alleviate pain. The same South Florida study suggested that specific frequencies may help reduce inflammation, stress, and discomfort in the body. Medical studies have found healing benefits produced by playing the didgeridoo, from helping cases of sleep apnea to improving asthma management. And thanks to its low frequencies, the didgeridoo has been reported to provide a relief to a wide range of joint, muscular, and skeletal related pain, as well as accelerated healing in various forms of bone trauma and muscle tears. The Aboriginals did need confirmation from medical studies. Pythagoras, a Greek philosopher, mathematician, and inventor, is credited for creating the monochord. Its vibrations are used to calm and re-energize the mind and body. He taught harmonic healing and sound therapy for balancing the four humors, which were associated with the four elements: blood with air, phlegm with water, yellow bile with fire, and black bile with earth. He started a religious and scientific brotherhood who believed in strict dietary rules. You may recall the Greeks were polytheistic. They believed in multiple gods like Zeus, Poseidon, Aphrodite, and they attributed all types of events to the behavior of the gods. Pythagoras' theory was part of a larger Greek cultural movement towards naturalistic explanations of health and disease, and moving away from the supernatural modes of such as explanations like, oh, the gods must be angry. All right, so on the top left, we have Healing Touch. Healing Touch practitioners are doing Biofield tuning. Then you have Reiki, a Japanese technique for stress reduction and relaxation that involves the laying on of hands. Practitioners believe that increasing life force energy can lead to better health and happiness. And then to the right there, you have Qigong in China. It's pretty popular now in the US too. It's used for the goal of balancing meridian frequencies. And the name literally translates to vital energy or life force. Gregorian chants are often associated with spiritual and emotional healing. They promote relaxation and reduce anxiety. The sound waves act like a sonic massage, ridding the major energy centers in your body of blockages and restoring balances to the chakras. In India, Vedic chants and the Om frequency, that is the Om symbol below with frequency emanating from it. Tibetan or Himalayan sing bowls are on the bottom right. These can be struck and placed on the body like a tuning fork. You can feel it resonating all the way down to your bones. I've had that done before. And of course, we have the crystal singing bowls. If you've never had a sound bath, I highly recommend it, but make sure the practitioner you choose is highly trained because you go there to relax. If your nervous system gets overstimulated, it would be the complete opposite of the Zen experience you were seeking. Our technology is designed to deliver gentle frequency to make subtle shifts over time so you never have to worry about overstimulation. All of these vibrational modalities were created for the purpose of natural healing. They're centuries old, except for the crystal bowls, which have their very own interesting history. And except for Qigong, they all incorporate sound. Now that's a good case for sound healing, right? While physicians in ancient times knew enough from observational medicine to detect a connection between sound and healing, it wasn't until mankind developed the technology of the 21st century that we began to consistently take measurements of the powerful impact frequency has on our mind and our bodies. Nobel Prize winner Dr. Albert Szent-Györgyi said, in every culture and in every medical tradition before ours, healing was accomplished by moving energy. How very special it is that we are here at this time in history and able to work with the most modern technologies available. Now let's get back to the scientists and their work in quantum science. We started with Maxwell 150 years ago, but about 100 years ago, scientists began to discover some new things about how energy and matter behave, and that you don't even need audible sound to affect positive shifts in the energetic body field. Max Planck made many contributions to theoretical physics, but his fame rests primarily on his role as an originator of quantum theory. He was a German theoretical physicist who discovered what is now called Planck's constant in 1900, the work that laid the foundation for quantum theory and won him a Nobel Prize for Physics in 1918. Are you a bit confused how frequency wellness support as a service was developed in the early 1900s, yet we're saying it's the cutting edge of complementary health modalities now? It may just be that it took another 100 years to quantify by measurement that frequencies affect change. Therefore, since not quantifiable, it was snubbed by the scientific community. But it also appears to me this information was actively suppressed. When something shows promise and there are lots of people reporting changes, intellectual curiosity should be enough to excite those in the scientific medical community. So we have to ask, why didn't it stay in the forefront? It seems to coincide with the rise of the pharmaceutical industry in the early 1900s and the American Medical Association actively rooting out any what they called quack remedies. Now, of course, quackery would be in the eye of the beholder then, right? So they got to tell us what was worthy and what was not. And they may have had an incentive for that. Maybe, maybe not. But since 1901, the American Medical Association has historically played a significant role in shaping medical education in the United States. I have no way to identify how or why Andrew Carnegie was associated with the AMA, but it is known that the Carnegie Foundation was significantly involved with medical schools and their educational structure. Andrew Carnegie was an industrialist who became one of the wealthiest and most influential figures in the American steel industry during the late 19th century, known for his philanthropic activities. In 1908, only 7 years after the AMA got heavily involved in the medical educational system, the Carnegie Foundation commissioned Abraham Flexner to do a study on the state of health in the US and Canada. Although Flexner had never set foot inside a medical school, he was their first choice to lead a study of the American medical education system. The Flexner report was then produced 2 years later, and it declared electromagnetism as an irregular science. It also dismissed other natural healing modalities. Medical schools that offered training in various disciplines, including osteopathic, chiropractic, eclectic medicine, naturopathy, and homeopathy, were told either to drop these courses from their curriculum or lose their accreditation and underwriting support. These schools tried to resist, but eventually complied with the report in order to keep their doors open. The aftermath of such a narrow approach to healthcare is still felt. As a result, doctors aren't taught biophysics or electromedicine in medical school, so they simply don't know the extent of the multifaceted landscape of the human body. Furthermore, the financial infrastructure of healthcare has evolved in the past century away from being patient-centric. All that was great in the past was ridiculed, condemned, combated, suppressed, only to emerge all the more powerfully, all the more triumphantly from the struggle. Nikola Tesla. And I would say that truth always seems to find a way to the light of day. Talk about struggle. This guy went through it. We owe him a lot, and we'll get into his story, but first let's talk about how frequency devices work. Frequency is delivered to the body on an energy carrier. Typical carriers for frequency are either electricity or radio waves, also known as radionics. Radio, satellite, cell phones, Wi-Fi, radar, and sonar. These are all examples of using energy to carry information. There are many devices available that are frequency generating machines. A very common one you may have heard of is the Rife machine, created by Dr. Royal Rife in 1920. Dr. Rife found that every disease has a frequency. He also found that certain frequencies can prevent the development of disease and that other frequencies would destroy diseases by destroying toxins, parasites, and bacteria. I think that's pretty awesome for the early 1900s. So simply think of disease or disease as misinformation. It's a disharmony in the way the cells are communicating. The body has received an error of information and has moved away from its perfect blueprint frequency. All right, now to Dr. Rife. The University of Southern California appointed a special medical research committee to bring 1,000 terminal cancer patients from Pasadena County Hospital to Rice San Diego Clinic for treatment. The team included doctors and pathologists assigned to examine the patients when 90 days had passed, and obviously only if they were alive. 86.5% recovered fully. The other 13.5% of the patients, they just required a little bit more treatment. And in 4 more weeks, they recovered fully, making for a 100% recovery rate of these 1,000 people at stage 4 in 120 days. The technology we use does contain all the right frequencies and a whole lot more. Am I saying our scanner technology will cure cancer? I definitely can't make that statement. I want to protect my business and the company I'm affiliated with. But I'll tell you this, all frequency providers are moved by helping others and bringing hope. Sometimes hope is the best gift you can give someone. And I like the odds that frequency wellness has demonstrated throughout history. It's safe, it's natural, it's affordable, and it works well with any other treatment options you may be opting for. How can you go wrong? What I just told you about Wright's accomplishments, really take that in. Successfully treated 1,000 patients diagnosed with incurable cancer in the 1930s. Nobody else was doing that. And it had to have been considered an impressive feat because he was honored with 14 awards and given an honorary doctorate. Sadly, after the unsuccessful attempt by pharmaceutical companies to buy out his research and equipment, his office was ransacked, his research paperwork was stolen, and the machine that healed those 1,000 cancer patients was destroyed. Do you recall I said perhaps since we didn't have the technology to quantify frequency results, that may be the reason electromagnetism was snubbed? For that reason, I'm going to give Flexner a little slack for not believing in biophysics, since it was 1910 and the results cannot be scientifically quantified, only empirically observed. But I'm suspicious of the motives of a large philanthropic organization who hires a non-medical person to evaluate the state of healthcare education, and then non-pharmaceutical methodologies are then maligned. All right, so we're going to jump to the early 90s. The first frequency monitor in the world was built by Bruce Tainio in the 1990s. Bruce Tainio's machine allowed the mapping of our organs' frequencies. And interestingly enough, although each organ is dependent on the other organs, they each have their own optimal frequency range. The specific frequency representing a particular item is called its signature frequency. Every person on our planet has their very own specific frequency signature, and it's as unique as your fingerprint. Do you feel even more special now? Tanio's frequency monitoring machine was certified as 100% accurate and is currently in use today. Our scanner can pick up internal organs that are not in balance and provide the optimizing frequencies. Using Easy Scan, you simply scan and allow the symptom to optimize you, and you're done. You don't even have to sit there and wait. All matter vibrates because everything is or has a frequency. It's just a matter of taking a measurement to determine if it falls into a healing category. Multiple thousands of frequencies have been assigned healing properties at this point. Several other natural modalities for healing that come to mind are whole foods, essential oils, and crystals. What do these all have in common? Hopefully you're saying they vibe high, and you can see that they come from Mother Earth. Nothing man-made. God is widely considered a great provisioner in many religious contexts, particularly in Christianity. The Holy Bible mentions God's provisioning in quite a few biblical passages, and nearly everyone who has studied nutritional health is aware of this passage. Genesis 1, Behold, I have given you every seed-bearing plant on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit contains seed. They will be yours for food. Regarding crystals, the Bible describes them in the context of God's creation and the beauty of his work. Ezekiel 28 mentions the king of Tyre being adorned with precious stones, including sardius, topaz, and diamond, among others. In Revelation 21, the New Jerusalem is described with walls adorned with various precious stones, including jasper, sapphire, agate, emerald, and onyx. I would like to think that crystals and precious stones were appreciated for their special abilities and not just their beauty. Whether God gave them to us specifically for their healing properties, I've not come upon that information yet, but God certainly provides many other high vibrational natural things of the earth for healing. And when we measure the frequencies of these gems, well, lo and behold, we see they vibrate at a level that does correlate to what we now know are healing vibrations. To me, it makes sense. There was a bigger purpose for giving us these natural high vibe gemstones and crystals. All right, James 5. Is anyone among you sick? Let him call for the elders of the church and let them pray over him, anointing him with oil in the name of the Lord. Essential oils help you heal faster because they carry the frequency of the plant. Those healing plants that God said, behold, I have given you every seed-bearing plant on the face of all the earth. Okay, and here's why it's so important to care for your central nervous system. These are the spine frequencies. And you can see how every vertebra, I know it's a little bit small, but what this is showing is every vertebra has a frequency. You can see what parts are communicated with by that portion of the vertebra. And then you can see the symptoms that arise when that frequency is off. It's easy to pass frequency wellness off as a woo-woo concept, especially if you don't know the science behind it. This is not an esoteric concept because currently in medicine, diagnostic machinery is used that employs frequency to measure the activity in your body. Think x-rays, MRIs, ultrasound, EEGs, and ECGs. And then the frequency therapies offered in medical institutions right now are TENS therapy, magnetic resonance therapy, pulsating electromagnetic field therapy, PEMF, spectral analysis, and biofeedback. About 6 months ago on our Telegram testimonies page, one of our advocates posted that her client's mother was being treated in a cancer facility and they were using frequency as part of her recovery plan. And then last year, a family member of mine told me her rehab facility was using frequency to help her heal quicker after knee surgery. I loved it. She's in her 80s and she's like, "Oh, I believe in everything you're doing. I've experienced it." It just made me so happy. Here's an article I found while doing research for this talk. Scientists clear Alzheimer's plaque from mice using only light and sound. This is MIT, hardly a new age facility. Are you beginning to see the future of light, sound, scalar energy, and frequency medicine is moving full steam ahead? Albert Einstein, considering matter, we've been all wrong. What we have called matter is energy, whose vibration has been so lowered as to be perceptible to the senses. There is no matter. Takes a minute to soak that one in. The theme of light has been woven into this whole talk. Now wait for this doozy. Human beings emit elementary particles of light through chemical reactions in their bodies. These reactions occur when radicals interact with fats and proteins in cells, setting off a series of energetic reactions that involve fluorophores, which are molecules that give off photons. Scientists are now telling us that we're 99.99999% energy and light. We are all literally beings of light. Knowing this, why would we think we could not heal ourselves with sound, light, and vibrational therapy and those very specific frequencies for healing? Light connects, it travels, it communicates throughout the universe. It awakens your cell communication using waves measured on the electromagnetic spectrum. All of us have a unique light inside of our bodies, literally a fingerprint of light and energy. When the light within us is bright and harmonious, our body is healthy and happy. But when the light within us is filled with chaos and confusion and clutter, our body will be unhealthy and unhappy. Yes, even thoughts and emotions can be brought into balance with frequency because thoughts are a frequency. Thoughts are a form of energy that can be described as waves. Brain waves, perhaps, right? You know that. When we think, our brains release chemicals and hormones that generate electrical signals in neurons, which then propagate as waves to thousands of other neurons. These electrical signals are a form of electromagnetic radiation that travel at the speed of light. Ever thought about someone and they end up calling or texting minutes later? Happens pretty often, right? That is your thought energy. Your brainwaves traveling at the speed of light through the quantum field and hitting its intended target. Intention is the secret sauce to much of what we do. So if you provide scalar energy to someone with our technology and you're clear on your intention, their biofield will receive it. It bears repeating. Intention is the secret sauce. Remember the double slit experiment? The observer controls the outcome. Thought emits vibration, and all living matter reacts to vibration. The puzzle pieces are truly coming together. Technology like this is super helpful, but will not solve the world's problems until consciousness shifts. And that brings us to the heart. The magnetic field of the heart is 100 times stronger than the magnetic field produced by the brain. You can measure the energy from the heart about 3 to 6 feet away from the body, and the brain about an inch away. We have our physical body, and then out from that, our emotional body, then the mental body, and then the spiritual body. And all of those bodies are contained in what is called your biofield. We think our soul, our spirit is in our body, but our body is in our spirit. Our spirit is way too big to be contained in this meat suit. And this perception we have of being separate is erroneous. We build mental constructs of separation. We do it to ourselves. There is no separation. We are all connected to one another. We're connected to all things, and how we think, what we think about is probably the most important thing to get right. Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Want to change your life? Change the way you think. Change the way you think, and your vibration increases. Increase your vibration, and all kinds of synchronistic events start happening. For me, I find it's just easier to express gratitude in up and down times, to be able to see God everywhere, to see perfection and divinity in everything. And it's just way more fun to live this way. And who's going to argue with Albert Einstein? Not me. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. Gosh, powerful. The overarching goal by working on energy realignment is for the body to naturally restore its information system and return to normal metabolic function. Sometimes this can be a once and done, like we sometimes see for acute pain issues, but you really should think in terms of lifestyle, just as you would with healthy eating or exercise. Getting one chiropractic adjustment in your life won't keep your spine healthy. Working out at the gym for one day is not going to build your muscles. Eating healthy every once in a while won't either. For that reason, we highly recommend you make the choice every day to clear your biofield, check in with the frequencies of your internal body systems daily, or at least weekly, and tune into what your voice has to tell you daily. Before I get into the features of the technology we use, I have a quick question for you. I'm going to make a quote and you let me know, or since you're not able to talk, I'll just tell you who it is. But the quote is, frequency intervention on a cell is 100 times more effective than chemical intervention. Any thoughts on who that is? Well, you might recognize this guy, Bruce Lipton. He's a cell biologist who wrote a book called The Biology of Belief. He's considered the father of epigenetics. And when asked by a crystal singing bowl practitioner how effective he believes frequency is, that was his response. That's a truly powerful statement, because with frequency, it's an instantaneous receipt of the information by the vagus nerve that then travels directly to the brain. It goes to work without anything getting in the way, unlike the inefficiency of taking medicine and having to break it down and then metabolize and excrete it. I'll close with the technology we use to help our clients, and this will be an overview. Again, if you want to explore further, Connie is doing a presentation next week, and you can get the link for that. Solex is the name of the company. They not only created their valuable flagship product, the frequency software program, but they knew it could not be sold from store shelves. So they decided to create a platform where people like Connie and I can use their tools to help ourselves, to help others if we choose, and if we so choose, to create a business around helping others. The software is called AOScan Mobile, and the company that created it, again, is Solex. AOScan contains technologies inspired by discoveries from Tesla, Madame Curie, Einstein, and many other renowned scientists. It's designed to communicate with the body via subtle biofrequencies and electromagnetic signals. It uses bioresonance, sound, and scalar energy. AOScan has compiled a database of over 170,000 unique blueprint frequencies and developed a handheld technology that allows you to compare your personal frequencies with these blueprints to gently guide you back to your body's natural state. Currently, there are 8 modules in the software package. New features and modules are consistently added, and Solix is committed to constantly improving the software and never raising the monthly subscription price. It incorporates radionics, contains the frequencies of the Bach flowers, has all the right frequencies, 74 tuning fork frequencies, 94 essential oil frequencies, and also uses a technology similar to HemiSync, which means instead of years and years of reading affirmations to yourself, you can record them and have them play back to you at different hertz in both ears, converging onto the center of your brain for quick acceptance of the information into your subconscious mind. And that right there is biohacking. Incorporated into the scanner is a module that can go through your entire body and let you know of any imbalances in any organ systems. No need to worry when you see imbalances. Hit scan and it will optimize your body right in that moment. One of the greatest tools in our software is a module called Inner Voice. It receives 10 seconds of information from your speaking voice, runs a scan comparing 24,000 frequencies in your voice to the perfect blueprint frequencies, points out the imbalances in your emotional body, and then provides the counterbalancing harmonics to then bring you back into emotional homeostasis. It will record 3 notes or octaves from the musical scale that are excessively out of balance, as well as the main octave that is being suppressed. It then generates 4 audio files that correspond to each of those balancing octaves. Those are emailed to you, as well as we separately include a short video to help you understand how to read your report. This technology has been around for at least 30 years, definitely not as lush as it is today with so many modules and not in this form. Lauren Swenson, the owner, was selling the other device to functional medicine doctors, naturopaths, and chiropractors, but like I said, it was an entirely different type of delivery service, and it was under his other company name. It was heavy, it was bulky, and the equipment cost like $35,000. So you can see why healing arts professionals with offices were the target market at that time. Then something significant happened in the tech world in 2017. Remember what that was? Windows 10. Rather than walk away, Lauren made the decision to invest a lot of money in software developers. It took them 2.5 years before the current scanner we have now, this software could work on the new Windows 10 platform. But that allowed it to be accessed from a portable device, making the dream of nearly every home being able to access it a real reality. It's possible. AOScan became portable, easy to use, and affordable for the average household. It is your wellness center first resort with you 24/7. With one account, you can have multiple client profiles, so that means you can help yourself and your family and your friends. And we encourage you to help as many people as possible. You can even broadcast frequencies to multiple people at one time, thanks to a new module called Multicast. Solex believes in a holistic approach to health and also carries a line of high vibrating whole food nutritional products, high-tech nanoparticle nutritional supplements, and their infinity line of quantum energy tools, all designed to impact your electromagnetic body positively through different approaches. How can frequency wellness transform your life? You're an energetic being that exists on many different levels. You exist on the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual level. These different levels are merely different energetic aspects of who you are, different energetic densities. Most of us only see and perceive ourselves on the physical level because this is the densest level. The state of your health is very much a reflection of how efficiently these various parts of you are connected and are able to communicate. If you have an efficient connection of all the parts and stability and harmony among the parts, you'll be in a state of coherence. This state of coherence will confer a higher vibratory state, and this higher vibratory state is conducive with deep healing, abundance, prosperity, elevation of your consciousness, and living your best life. Our daily lifestyle choices can have a big impact on the brightness of our light. AOScan simply has been developed to help remove the chaos and the clutter that is blocking organized and harmonious light. AOScan first assesses the chaos and the clutter, and then, secondly, harmoniously optimizes the light within us. Daily assessing and optimizing enables each of us to be our very best self. AOScan is quite simply an impactful way to manage your daily health care. Albert Einstein said, the future of medicine will be the medicine of frequencies. The future is now. So my question for you is, are you ready? I really appreciate your time and attention. We'll go ahead and turn off the recording now and take some questions.